This is BleedTV, the only podcast based on shows and movies. I'm Zack.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And tonight, of course, we have WestWorld. This was Season 2, Episode 9, called Vanishing Point.
Kind of went a little game showy there, and I appreciate it right there. Vanishing Point.
The Running Man.
Man.
So, overall thoughts for the episode?
Yeah, I was talking to Jake a little bit before and everything, and I'm having such a weird feeling with WestWorld because it's great TV. I'm loving it, but it's not exciting in a weird way.
Is it me, or have we had 9 episodes and are not really sure what the mystery is?
Oh, I have no clue what the mystery is.
To me, I think that's the biggest thing. I was talking to several people on social media and a few friends out in work and different places like that, and everybody's like, I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be trying to figure out. I mean, I thought we were supposed to go, what's the glory? Where's this? Where's that? But the reality of it is that the story has gone in so many different directions and so many different hyper focuses of other things. I really don't know. Everybody's like, what are we trying to figure out? Or are we trying to figure anything out?
And maybe that's what it is. It's just hard to care because like you don't know what you're supposed to care about.
Here's what I do going into the show is I trust the show.
Yes.
Okay. So even though it may not be just like mind-altering excitement every episode, I trust that, first off, what I see on the screen is still amazing. I'm not complaining about anything.
Not in the slightest.
Now, I understand what you're saying about not knowing exactly what to grasp onto as what's the through line mystery, you know? But I think what they've done by introducing Anthony Hopkins' character, Ford, more prevalently at the end of this, and that preview, you know, that flashback of him at the bar with the Man in Black, with William, I think that is the huge takeaway from the episode. Is like, I think the mystery is just what is Ford's game.
I'm with you. I mean, it was supposed to be a huge reveal that Ford's at the bar, like he has a relationship and was a part of the Delos experiment and how they were separated and they had terms of who stayed where and don't mess with my project, I won't mess with yours. And he even facilitated him by, he was part of them being able to scan people through their hats and seeing everything because he said he gave him that card. And again, that was supposed to be a huge unveiling, but I saw him sitting there and I was like, oh, okay. And that's my honest reaction, is that he was at the bar. And I felt like maybe that was supposed to be a much bigger, holy crap, Ford was a part of all this.
Well, now, see, I don't feel like he was a part of it necessarily. Because you remember when Hale comes, when everybody's coming and trying to figure out what Ford's doing, you know, in the outer world and stuff like that. Like, we knew this from the beginning, that Ford had his terms, don't mess with my narrative, and I don't mess with what you got going on. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, that's all he cared about was what he's doing, which I think is his game. You know what I mean? He's building up all these things, right?
Correct.
Now, when he... now, obviously, we're jumping kind of the episode here, but when he tells them, you know, we had a deal, you don't mess with my narratives, I don't mess with your project.
Yeah.
And William says, we haven't done anything to your narratives. And he says, yes, you have. And he slides him the card.
Yeah, he's like, your projects have bled into my narrative or something like that.
Something to those form. But basically that something's happening. And how he shows him that is by throwing him his...
info card.
His data card.
His own profile.
That's
Right.
what it is, profile.
It's his profile.
So you take that moment and the very last moment of the episode, and you might find out what's bleeding into what. You know what I'm saying? The original movie Westworld, the Man in Black is a host.
Yeah, and he's the one that's malfunctioning. And
that goes
everything.
crazy, right? Now, this might be just a way of messing with us, with him digging in his arm at the end of the episode and stuff like that, looking to see if there's a port.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me.
And you've been saying this all along.
That the fidelity for William, you know, is him, you know, being in the park constantly. You know what I mean? Like, who's the guy that they could use the best that can't even pull himself out of Westworld. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and they have so much information on him because he's been going there so long and staying in such long stints.
Right. So I'm saying that just like we thought, Bernard and
Dolores,
they're working. I feel like maybe Ford and William are working. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say William's working with him voluntarily, though.
Not voluntarily.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I would not be surprised if...
I would, though, at this point, just because the Man in Black is still just so clueless in everything about... to see his deterioration throughout this episode and to say that he's working with him or even just using him as a star pupil, I guess, I have a hard time believing.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know or anything, but I see what you're saying. I have a hard time going that route with it.
I'm just saying, they even showed when she gets up out of bed and looks at his profile.
Oh, yeah.
You get to kind of see William's memories.
We did.
Yeah, everything he's done at Westworld is there.
Which, how cool was that tablet? That
super badass.
Pure slate of glass and everything just
pulls it in.
God, I can't wait till we get to that future.
I'm just saying, if Ford has played the long game, and is...
Which he probably has.
Well, he makes a comment. No more games, Ford, and then Ford goes, "Oh,
just one more.
Just one more." Right.
And I guess that's what we're supposed to be. The unveiling is for the next episode of what the game is. Because Ford, like I said, William has been going after the game the entire time. He wants to blow this place up, shut it down, whatever it is. So that's what is the big thing. But it's been so busy. Who knows what, where, and what you're supposed to be looking at to go with it.
But I realize it's not super exciting, but I just love what they're doing, like the Jekyll and Hyde type thing they're doing with William, which they did a great job. He was white hat when he comes in, black hat when he comes out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the fact he keeps reaching for his arm, you know what I mean? And it makes you think, is that a scar that we saw him fix? Remember? Right. Is that what he's reaching for? Or, is it some kind of almost like when you're having a heart attack where they're like that, just some kind of anxiety, or the black hat guy wants to show,
or just
but he has to be this other guy for fundraisers and shit,
or just like a little twitch or something. We have no idea, and I'm excited to see what that reveal is going to be by the end of the episode or the season.
I'm just saying, we saw a little bit this with Delos, where his arm, where he
did have the shake,
a little twitch and stuff, and then in this fundraiser, we're seeing him reaching for his arm, and he's having a problem with his arm. And then at the end of the episode, he's digging in his arm to see if he finds a port. But this is probably going out on a limb. I don't know if that's what's going to end up happening. But at this point, what's your way out?
This door.
If you're a host, getting out.
Just the door. I got to figure.
But Dolores is the only one that's even been outside the walls.
No.
Several of them have been outside.
Yeah.
We even used a private party for his son.
Yeah, the head of Ghost
still alive.
Yeah, the head of Ghost Nation.
Head of Ghost Nation was one of them.
You're right.
Yeah,
he was one of the guys. In the party.
Clementine had been out, but she's not alive anymore. The girl that seduced the soldier.
Clementine is alive.
Clementine's alive.
Yeah. Well, I did. Well, they brought her back.
Yeah. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Which I'm still upset about that. Which, do we just want to talk about Clementine?
Let's break it down into parts. Let's talk about Man in Black and his daughter and the conclusion with him. We can talk about, you have the Bernard, Elsie, Ford thing, and then, of course, you have
Dolores.
Yeah. And the small Dolores stuff is the primary focuses of the episode.
We should say small Dolores stuff. With the
big impact, stuff. But, the funny thing is with the Dolores is that we see all that before. That's the third time we've seen with Teddy encounter the Ghost Nation. Mm-hmm. And we already knew the result of what this was going to be when this happened.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, the stakes and timelines are weird.
Dude,
because we know Teddy gets pulled out of the water. Mm-hmm. Yet, here he is blowing his brains out.
I'm telling you, man.
So, nobody knows where this goes.
The timelines are so blah.
And maybe that's part of the problem, that it's hard because
I think I think it was ingenious. Not to cut you off.
No, you're
ingenious is that, as I think what happened first season is by like we predicted it by the 4th episode we had it pegged. We thought
we had most of everything that was
Bernard
going
and
on.
Arnold are the same thing and the whole 9 yards. I think, and there wasn't a lot of timeline issues in season 1. I think they did this timeline thing this time to just completely scatter the potential of figuring this out, doing all that and everything else. And it worked, but it's also super frustrating when you're trying to be like, wait a minute. Did they show us this on this timeline? Do that on that timeline? Because I'm like, we're Jake right here. And I mean, as soon as you said, wait a minute, now Teddy's in the water later, I'm like, when the fuck did that happen now? I mean, where does that fit into the mix?
And we've only got one episode to figure it out.
Because the reality of it is that we've seen Teddy pulled out of the water, put into a body, as bodies in this pile. But then we've seen, we had super T-1000 Teddy come in there, 2-fisted guns, mowing folks down. And then he leaves. And then, he does, I mean, I'm just like, what? I mean, where are we? There's just no, and you want to believe that the whole Bernard and Fenord thing that's going on right now is current. But is it? You don't know there either.
Well, you know what time it's on because you can hear the things going on at whatever home base while he's trying to leave. You know what I'm saying? You can hear some of the things going down as he's leaving.
Yeah, the thing that I always go back to is Maeve's in there when Bernard is there. And Maeve has done this enormous storyline and come right back to the control center where she's cut open like a filleted fish, laid there,
Like, her being laid there, presented like that, is one of the coolest things I've seen. Because, like, you've got, like, the veins still going through her neck and everything, like, pulsating. I was
Everything looks like it's functioning.
Yeah, like, this is graphic, horrific, and beautiful all at the same time.
Well, let's get back to Dolores and Teddy. We meet the Ghost Nation. The second guy.
Yeah, second in command.
Second guy looks at him and basically says, no.
You're not meant.
You're
Deathbringer, you're not meant for this world.
I mean, this is like some Christopher Columbus type shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
You, Deathbringer, and all your people are not meant for this. You're too violent. You're too out there.
And then just her, just like... This was the first time I saw her as somebody different because she was willing to die for this cause and everything. Like, she didn't have herself on a higher level. It was like I told you before, not everyone is meant for this. I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm seeing you as willing to die for this cause for other people. And
but that's the thing.
I don't think so, because she moved her horse behind Teddy and she positioned herself and she sacrificed a lot of her people.
She didn't have any fear because she has Teddy.
Okay, so you saw also
she had T-1000.
Like, yeah. Hey, I mean, when you got the 2-gun Teddy,
you see what she said. You leave me no choice. Teddy?
Yeah.
And he just starts gunning them down.
Which, the fact that Teddy was able to outshoot somebody when they already had the bow drawn, I was like, come on, guys.
Well, the bow didn't go at him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. They did shoot the arrow, did hit one of her other people.
True, but I mean, Teddy still got it.
Now, why those arrows aren't pointed at her and Teddy to begin with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was a little sketch. And not only that, the second in command guy was the closest one to all of them, and he survives the entire skirmish.
And
that was strange.
And he has the tomahawk.
Mm-hmm. He should have just been able to throw.
Why was Teddy able to not shoot him?
Because Teddy still is aware of who he is.
Well, not after. He shouldn't have been after he was reprogrammed.
Remember, he is aware because he knows he's been changed. And his things was altered and so on. But like she said, he might not be able to come back to his old self, this, that, or so on. I think he came back to himself and became self-aware, and that's the reason he gunned himself down. Is because he's not who he was, and he's
not who she created.
He's internally what do you call it? At odds with himself. And it's because of the woman he loves.
Yeah.
And he can't continue as who he is for what she is doing when he knows it's not morally right, because that's what his original code and really storyline is. And like she keeps saying, like, you go back to my memory, I know this, I know that. Well, he has memory. He knows who he is. And so that's why, in my opinion, why he guns himself down is because he don't want to be a part of this.
I'm not disagreeing with you. My thing is Ghost Nation's second in command doesn't look scared at all
that Teddy's going to gun him down.
Like, he has no fear at all that he's going to get shot.
Like, I'm surprised he even.
Then again, you've never seen fear out of the guy ever.
I understand
This
what
is
you're
true.
saying. But what I'm saying is like, is it possible that Teddy has one of those fucking tattoos on his scalp? You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been spreading this crap. Teddy's been around for a long time. But Teddy's died too many times.
He's died
Yeah,
like
to me,
1,600 times.
that's
Like,
not- to me, I think the Ghost Nation guy is he's doing what he programmed. And Teddy, only reason he shot any of them is because he was in defense mode of the woman he loves. He said, I will never let any harm come to you.
and he knew nothing was going to come to Dolores at that point in
Right,
time,
exactly.
so I can let
it's
you go.
Simple for him to shoot all them to protect his woman of love. That's even in his old code. You know what I mean?
That's his original code,
That's
yeah.
his original. So you put that in perspective. I have no problem with that. The only thing I had a problem with the whole scene is that they get the second in command is the closest one and he's unscathed. And then like they all died. I mean, everybody died. But here's the thing though. When they came to that scene earlier in this season, they came upon all the Ghost Nation bodies. They never came upon Dolores's goons that were killed.
Yeah, Wyatt's people were never there.
The Wyatt's people were not there, but they should have been there.
No, I don't think so. I think they were there because I remember distinctly him walking over dead people and picking a Ghost Nation person. There wasn't only Ghost Nation, I'm telling you. There was
I
other
don't remember
people.
a Wyatt person there on the ground. I'd have to go back and watch.
I'm almost 100% positive because I remember them like thinking, why did they pick the Ghost Nation guy opposed to the rest of them? You know what I'm saying? Because I think they knew these people are with Dolores. Why did this guy get shot, even though he's a host? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which is where we saw the video. Not everybody's meant for the,
New World, yeah.
whatever.
All right.
Not everybody gets to pass.
I don't remember clearly. I'm not going to do that. But again, Dolores and him end up at this really cool old house, barn, whatever it is. Teddy makes the decision and offs himself.
Didn't see it coming.
You know, I didn't say I always knew he was going to do something drastic. I didn't see Teddy in the long game at all. You know, because his name's Teddy. Number one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see him making it this far.
I mean, the guy's an arrow cushion.
Poor James Marsden. Well, I didn't see this coming because I've seen him pulled out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if
Now,
my
like-
Terminator timelines are correct, I'm assuming that the final timeline is the one with Floki, with Bernard pulling them all out of the water. You know what I mean? And we see a pile of their dead bodies.
I just don't
Once
know
again, back at home base, from as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but then we see Floki and Bernard fighting, and they realize he's a freaking host. That's after that, and that's after That's when the T-1000 comes in and busts the
how.
place.
Yeah,
I
most
know.
everybody down.
I mean, this is like I've come beyond confused.
That's what I'm saying. Bernard escapes from that, though.
He does.
You know, he gets out from that position.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's so hard to
I
track.
know,
Yeah,
man.
like,
Like,
it's
as
like
soon
you think
as
you haven't
say,
figured
this
out
is it, I can turn around and say, "What about this?"
This.
It's just so hard to track it because the what they call the home base, the Mesa,
Mesa.
Yeah.
is so important, and so many things happen there on different timelines. It's like, okay, but what about when this was at the Mesa? And what about this? And then you got the cradle, and it's like, okay, that's at the Mesa, but it's at the bottom of the Mesa.
Wait, Cradle, a great name. And now we got the Forge.
Now
and
we
I'm
have
like,
the Forge. There's even a bigger version of this.
Like I said, guys, what have I been saying? The Forge. It's literally called the Forge.
It is.
This is where they make the people. That little fucking maze logo is a guy, just like we see at the beginning of the episode every time in the credits.
Yeah.
It's the whatever it's called, the 3D printer of the guy.
Right.
I'm telling you, that's your only way out as far as I'm concerned, is to create a new body, put your conscience in, and go. It's the only way.
And like I'm imagining this door as like the old. Oh God, I had a great thing for it. But what was the Jim Carrey movie where they film him his entire life and he doesn't know?
Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Like that's what I'm imagining this door being. It's just like the exit to the Truman Show, and I'm just like, if it's not just a brand new world,
Just a staircase on
Yeah.
an ocean,
it's picture perfect. But
Yeah.
I doubt we get that.
I don't know. All right, so let's go back to Men in Black and finish up his part.
I mean, just his opening with him and his daughter. Just
him
hanging.
and the opening like that. And of course, she's at a rally point. She's got this medical kit that has all these empty spots in it. So evidently, she really did some heavy doctoring on him to make him where he could get up and use a P90 and kill 6 people easily.
A bunch of these red canisters, which look like they're all just water,
yeah,
some kind of something. But I guess each of them have something different in them. Whether it's insta heal or whatever the hell it may be.
Insta heal.
I mean, I'm glad. Well,
level 90 insta heal.
I need the med pack.
We've seen some futuristic shit as far as healing.
All right, here's my question for you. Okay, she is human. Do we agree?
Yes.
Do we all agree?
As of right now, from what they've shown us,
right,
she's a human.
So she is using a medical pack to cure her dad, who is in her mind a human. So whatever you would use in that medical pack would cure a human. Does that give us a signal that means he's not a host?
No.
What about the guys that put the taser on the back of his neck and it goes fills up?
Yeah,
that's
clear.
Boss.
Well, I mean, Charlotte had that too. They threw a scanner on her and everything.
We haven't perceived that she's a host yet either.
So does Bernard. Bernard passed it.
True.
Bernard put his hands on the door handle too and got in.
But that was a DNA test. That wasn't a, he's never had the thing to the neck.
I understand that. We already know that Bernard's a host. No reason to do it. I'm just saying Bernard being able to put his hand on that doorknob and open it.
It's not as definitive as somebody showing you a thing going across the back of the neck saying clear. Because everybody they've done that to is human. Anybody they're not, they've gunned down. They even showed you that on the beach scene when they woke up Bernard. So, to me...
And we've seen the lady with the red cards, and Bernard's one of them.
Correct.
So it's like, what?
And I mean, Ghost Nation did some healing to him too. And so they would have kind of hinted towards a host.
Ghost Nation. Really?
Well, I'm just saying. We had a lot of healing with them.
They chew up some grass and put it in the wound.
Hey, they did something. They kept him alive.
They'll make your death less horrible.
I would say this: Ghost Nation stopped the bleeding, and she did finish. But you saw his arm wound; it's still pretty nasty.
And he was actually feeling the effects of it this episode, and that was good.
And she said, "You need to get to a hospital. You're in deep shit."
Yeah. So I'm going to go with he's a human. But
then you just gaping wound in his chest. Upper abdomen. I mean, I'm going to say whatever was in that fucking red case is some miracle stuff. That holds you up.
Stem cells.
Yeah,
it's just stem cells. You go wash it down. Does the body good?
Fix a flat.
Yeah.
Fix.
Hold on. You need about 45 more seconds. There will
be. Fix a flat.
Did you put it upside down?
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page, though. As of the knowledge we have.
He is human.
What we have shown, they're both his daughter was human.
They're human.
He was human.
Yep.
Obviously, the guys he guns down were human. We assume. Okay, so we do find out later on what her motivation is. She's actually trying to get him out and to expose what they've been doing here.
Yes. I don't really see how that's a big punishment or anything at this point.
This was a low political part of she's a civil rights person.
Yeah.
What you're doing to people is way wrong.
But this is what I thought it was going to be, was her just sneaking in and getting what she needs to ruin him.
But I mean, she already had it.
Yeah, her profile was it.
Yeah, she has all.
This is the head of Delos. Watch this.
Finding out that they were scanning you through your hat is minuscule to me.
I take that back. Here's the deal. The profile is just what he's done, which is perfectly acceptable there.
That's what I'm saying.
What is not perfectly acceptable is that guests coming in and not realizing that their information is being illegally obtained and collected,
but not
for use
really
a third party, which is by far no
when
go.
You show the video of him, it's like, okay, well, that's just videos of what I'm doing out there.
That's still damning evidence, though. People will still say it's wrong that he's killing these hosts and everything.
It's damaging. Maybe he has to step down, but the project continues.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, the one thing about this is that profile, when she put it on that plate and you get to watch it, it was from a third point of view.
Yeah, it wasn't even just third person. It was a almost NFL sky camera.
Right. That shit bothered me Because if I felt like you were going to see somebody's profile,
It should be
because
coming
it's
from their
scanning
eyes.
from their forehead on a hat or whatever like that, you should be looking at life through your eyes.
Not necessarily to me, because I think it's, you're right, and I bet there were some views we weren't paying attention to that were from a first person point of view, but I look at it like, know which host is out there, track them with all the cameras around the park, you know what I mean? Like, keep an eye on it. I mean, that thing they have at the Mesa is literally like a huge security facility.
My problem is that
Well,
have we seen cameras
No.
used in WestWorld?
I don't know. I thought
No,
it
The
was-
answer
we
is
haven't.
no.
Yeah. There's
Anytime
no way you
look at
could
the digital
use
map.
cameras.
It'll
Yeah.
tell you where somebody is, but they don't pull up a camera saying, show me sector 16, da 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 da, and so on, and they get a visual right there. You've never seen that scene. So for us to be able to say we have a third party view of Ed Harris dragging Dolores over to the barn to rape her and kill her, there is no camera there to show that unless it's from another host's eyes.
But this was
No.
at such a high angle. I don't, because it didn't look
Right.
like it was flat. Like
Right.
it looked
to
as
me, I think
elevated
it was just an
looking
easy
down.
way for the viewer. Easy way for the viewer to say, "Oh yeah, I remember that scene." Mm-hmm. To say da 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 da. But the reality, and it would be much harder for you to look at it through the eyes of William, of him grabbing Dolores and dragging her.
you know who sees that? Teddy. Laying on the ground. Because he shot him before he drags Dolores off.
I mean, but it's like the camera angle's looking down, though. It's not like it's looking up at it.
I understand what you're saying.
That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. But Jake's got a point because, like they said, the hosts are the ones collecting the information.
Yeah.
So yeah, it probably isn't cameras. It's host eyes. But like I don't know.
Probably so.
They're recording.
Because the thing
everything.
is, unless you shoot him in the head,
Yeah,
you know,
it's going to keep
Program's still
rolling.
running.
Yeah.
right. But I agree with you, Cash. Some of the angles they were showing, okay, whatever. But
But then also, what if you don't wear a hat? Like,
it doesn't look like there's an option much. You go white hat, black hat. Have you seen anybody in the
well,
park
that's what I'm
that's
trying
not
to
rocking
think.
that?
Like
now,
going.
I remember that one guest we saw all through season 1, who even shot Hector one time. Remember, you know, there was a couple scenes that he did not have a hat on, but it's because he took the hat off.
Yeah,
he
well,
still
and-
had it with him.
And like, if any of us were to go to WestWorld, our hats would immediately be off inside. And so, like, and then like, if you're having sex, I doubt you're going to keep a cowboy hat on. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things going on there where I see this hat logic being.
You need to get out more, man.
Yeah, is keeping the cowboy hat the thing to do? Like,
Put it on your old lady's head.
well, that's not going to be a very useful for information for them.
Strap in.
Cash, live a little bit, man.
All right, I'll keep the cowboy hat on next time. We'll see how it
Boots
goes.
on, too, bro.
More of a sock person, but
Business socks.
God, what is that movie? You know, Find Big Chief, or is it?
Oh my god.
Woody Harrelson and
The Cowboy Way.
Cowboy Way. Yes,
Kiefer Sutherland. Yes. And from Ghostbusters.
Aykroyd, Murray.
No. Black guy. What's his name? Anyway, he's the
Winston?
the New York cop. Winston is the Ghostbusters character.
right.
Oh, from Die
But he's
Hard?
the New York cop. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, classic movie. Going to find Taco.
That's right. Blind Taco. That's right.
That's right.
Highly recommended by BleedTV podcast.
Well, hold on.
No, it's already got the stamp of approval.
Go into it with the right expectations.
If
It
we,
still holds water. It's a good comedy.
It's got some laughs in it. I'll give it that.
Yeah. I mean, come on. There's some great one-liners in that movie. Now I lost where we were. Where were we?
we were talking about the
hats.
the
Yeah,
hats
the
and
hats, yeah,
everything.
that's right.
But so
And Cash's lack of diversity. That's what it was.
there we go.
Your sexual escapades are lacking, Cash.
You know, cowboy hats and boots. I got it. It's on the old list.
Yeah, put it on the old bucket list, bro.
Okay, so Men in Black, he's talking to his daughter, and he confronts her and says, I never told anybody about my profile. There's no way anybody else knows, and so on. She acts like she's got something behind her back, which she was carrying the Man in Black's pistol, which is a badass revolver, by the way. And when she reaches for it,
Did anyone think that this was going to happen?
I didn't think you shoot her in the chest, man.
This is exactly where I didn't think this would go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bravo. Like,
Total 180 from what I thought would happen.
did not see this because I was just like, Ford's voice hasn't been dubbed over her yet. Like, you've got to see, like, that's the connection. And
But Ford's been messing with them.
he has been.
By
But he
just
always lets them know that he's messing with them.
dropping into character. Okay, but what happens next? You just start assuming Ford's in everybody and messing with you the whole time, whether or not he answers you or not. You know,
True.
he is legitimately losing.
And he's been baking in the sun. Like, I mean, there's no...
Yeah,
A lot of blood loss. You know, got some sunlight. I mean, his lips are more wrinkled than most people's faces. I mean, it's insane.
But, I mean, and Ford's winning just off of by pure coincidence with Maeve running into him and everything. And so, like, I mean, I understand all of that, but the straight shooter in the chest without any indication that it is Ford, whoa. Never would have
It
guessed it.
stunned me. And to be honest with you, I was broken, man. Like
She's
my
been
wife and I
great.
were watching, like, did he really just shoot his own dog? And then throw the insult to injury, the scene where he sees a picture of her as a young child, a young girl, and then a picture of her in the dining room, and then he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'll put the gun to my head now."
The
Like,
flashes, man.
Man, we're
So
devastating,
much of
man.
it.
Oh, my God.
Well, and then we get the biggest trope with the ballerina little gift and everything. Thought it was used well, but that trope is played out.
It was kind of perfect, though, that's where she put it. Mm-hmm. You know,
Well, and just that she went and grabbed it out of the garbage and everything and held on to it.
yeah.
And like that played such a significant thing later in the episode.
Yeah, it was a great circle of information to come to a huge head. At the
Yes.
end. It was
Absolutely.
It's the way they played that well because they kept flashing to that dinner party and her being an alcoholic and you know all that stuff like that. You had no idea it was going to come back around to be like it was. But
It was a perfect episode within of itself.
I love the camera angles they chose. If you notice, when he puts that card into the book, decides to come and sit on the bed and talk to her, if you look in the mirror, it's facing right at the books.
So she was able to.
She could just look in the mirror and it was looking right at where he put
little
it.
details, man.
It was so perfect. I looked at it, I was like, God, these guys are so on top of shit, man.
They've gotten everything.
nail
It
it.
makes sense.
The ricochet view they nailed.
on the mirror. Yeah,
I mean,
It's like who even thinks to put that into a TV show or anything?
It's
And then,
just
like you
ridiculous.
said, you're looking at it because like now you're thinking about it. Then boom, it was right there in her view the entire time.
And you know, it opens up the whole episode with him with this monologue. And this is not where I expected it to be. But when he does sit on the bed and finally come clean, that's what we heard at the beginning of the episode. I was like, oh man.
And just like the speck of darkness, the entire like his opening monologue was fantastic. And then going through each little bit and it growing is like, has it always been with me? Am I this? I was just like, I think you are, and I can see it growing.
the best part of his line is that WestWorld just exposed who I am. You know, the skin, the sheath that I've shaved. You know, or
Shed my skin.
Shed my skin
Yeah.
to who I am. You know,
Yeah, Westworld didn't make me. It
showed
just
me who I am.
revealed who I was. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
maybe
dude, super dark. Super dark.
Dude, can y'all imagine any actor doing a better job than Ed Harris for this?
Not at all.
I mean, like
He crushes this.
if he does not win something for his performances in this series,
but I mean, like,
it was a travesty.
what do you give him? Like, can he be considered? Can anyone be considered a main actor
he'd
in
be a
this?
supporting actor.
If it's supporting, Anthony Hopkins is still going to be competing with him the whole way.
Only thing though, Anthony Hopkins only going to be in this whole damn thing for basically 2 episodes.
But I mean, for supporting actor, you don't need to be in there a whole lot.
Nah, this dude had a pretty
No.
good through line.
I mean, I hope it is Ed Harris, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of people.
He's got to be on the top of the list to me.
But damn, man, Jeffrey Wright.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
You
close.
gotta get them both in there.
Well,
They
even
nailed
Mr. Abernathy, I forget his name, but he's up there.
He's snippets though.
Yeah,
Once again, it's
he's-
just snippets.
If you,
I mean-
if you put
I
his
mean-
total amount of time, you were talking less than 20 minutes of coverage on film.
Absolutely, but I mean, supporting actors, they give it to people who just those little snippets and the long that
I would
could
think
be
you'd
main
have to
actors.
have a reoccurring role in almost every episode for it to be a supporting actor of a show, a series.
That's fair.
To
And
me,
where the hell is he right now?
well, he's
Who
gone.
has him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He's
Dolores
yeah,
toasted
Dolores
him.
and toasted.
His head has been
right.
taken.
Yeah, she's got him with him.
Yeah, he's right there in Dolores'
That's right.
in
In
the
the
horse's
satchel.
satchel.
Yeah.
Okay, where were we?
All right, so
Daughter's dead.
Yeah.
shoots the daughter, can't believe it.
Well, and doesn't even believe that she's real yet until he sees the player's card.
The profile card, yeah, that he realizes that I didn't tell anybody, but suddenly she has this. Still, one of the most monstrous scenes of the
Heart-wrenching, really.
Again, we already talked about the bar scene where Hopkins is in there. We've talked about when he's when she commits suicide. He goes out there, puts the gun to his head. How about the forward flash of him possibly committing suicide? They show him with the gun to his head before all this happens.
Yep.
And did any of y'all think he might pull the trigger at any time?
No.
I initially thought that this was a different time, like before all of this had happened, and like he just wasn't even going to be able to hurt himself because the gun wouldn't work against him. So
that'd be something. Damn
well,
it.
yeah, well, because they're
Hurt real bad.
Yeah. Well, no, because like the guns couldn't kill humans, and so like I didn't even perceive it as a threat.
I would laugh my ass off. Damn it!
Rubber bullets.
Yeah.
And so like that flash forward, I didn't even perceive as a threat because I was like, oh,
Yeah, I never once had even a scintilla that he was going to kill himself. I'm like, he has to be in episode 10. He's the other half of the point of like he has to see the mystery unfold or how the game ends or whatever. Just like in the last season, he's a part of it.
yeah. I mean, there's just no way he doesn't make it to the door.
Well, we are realizing that there's many more pieces to the game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Head of Ghost Nation, Maeve, Dolores, Man in Black. I mean, there's Bernard. I mean, there's
Charlotte
group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you just don't know. I mean, the Anthony Hopkins scene with Maeve is pretty
Fantastic.
intense. You
Well,
know?
you know what this last two episodes have done is that it's telling us that everything that we think is an anomaly that is growing out of its own is actually Ford has been a part of. You know what I mean? Like to me, in the beginning of the season, we were like, okay, well, Ford set them free. Now let's see how their storylines develop. And
Well, I mean, I was still
that
saying Ford
is actually intertwined with all of it still.
Absolutely. And I've been saying by that the whole time.
He's kind of a puppet master. I agree. But it's almost like he was, like you're saying, like he put it all in motion, but he doesn't have control over everything at this point.
Right. Like he had to give Maeve a message, and then that's her new motivation to move forward. It's like opening a door for her.
Well, Maeve was the only one he couldn't correctly path because she just became so powerful. Everyone else he was able to... It was freedom to the extent of he was able to guess what you were going to do. So
Yes,
I don't know if you want to call that
he
freedom.
Knew that she was like he knew that she was going to be the one who was going to escape, but then he realized that
But she changed her
her
mind to
change-
save a
a
child.
choice became a point, and that's why you say like that's the big thing that this season is that a choice has to be made, and so choices have been made constantly, and so those are the things that the unexpected, and he explains that. When he's sitting there in that scene and he's over there talking to her, cool as hell, the tech is still, like he's working
yeah.
there. And kudos to the guy who's the tech, who's able to sit there and hold a straight face while Anthony Hopkins is doing a monologue.
This
Right.
ultra metrosexual Dr. Man. Dude,
Riding the
guy
scale, yeah.
is sculpted like out of stone of makeup, perfectly
Perfectly
trimmed
trimmed beard.
eyebrows
Yeah.
and beard. And his hair is perfectly cropped over. So I'm just like, it's just weird and out of place.
Yeah.
It's like I could spend 3 hours and not come close to how
no.
perfectly...
No. Best thing you could do is put a bag over it. And
Pretty much.
draw a smiley face and say, get you some.
Maybe
Best
get
thing
a
would've been
light
your dad
switch.
put a bag over.
Yeah.
Damn.
He burns them deep. But no, the whole thing with free will, the whole thing
Yeah.
that Arnold pushed for was that they're more than just hosts.
And Ford gave it to him.
They have a future with free will and things like that. Well, Ford may have not intended to. You know what I'm saying? Because Maeve surprised him with the choice.
Well, but Maeve is such an anomaly, though, because her code was just so far out there and advanced past everybody else's.
But like Zack was saying, she was almost created and pushed forward to be the one that would escape. He knew she would be the one to leave, but she decided not to leave yet, come back into the park to save her child.
Daughter. Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, not a child. Like, I mean, a child, but like her
child.
daughter. Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is that choice, that free will decision is what surprised him. And I think that's why he decides at the end, that's why I can't let you die here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, and he just called her his favorite. Like, I mean, Maeve is his Dolores.
Right.
Well,
But
no, Maeve is his. I think the reference is Maeve is like he said. You were the closest thing to a child I've ever had.
Right. And the thing is, she just proved what Arnold had been pushing for so long, you know? So it's like, he has to put his foot in his mouth a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, and now, okay.
This is possible. This is something that we can
Almost let me finish what Arnold started now.
do. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're saying now.
Like, I feel that way, at least. The same reason why Ghost Nation walks up on him while he's scalping all his people and stuff like that. I've been watching you. I know you've been watching us, you know, blah, blah, blah. Let me at least put you in the right direction. You know, give you a little help.
Yeah. One thing he does is he listens to this message, and you know, I love how he's like, "That's close enough, Bernard." You know,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And I thought that was pretty sweet. I love that, you know, the little stuff. And then basically, the tablet comes on, and it's like, you know, primary core
Worrying and everything.
You know, like basically, you're unlocking the ultimate of you. You know, like your core operating is boom.
Now, do you think it was his message that did it, or was there something in the kiss?
No, I think no. The message we got to see him deliver.
But I'm saying, like, where do you think, like, it was his words and everything that inspired Maeve, or do you think it was the kiss at the end that?
No, the kiss. That's just him acting his ass off, delivering the message instead of it reading across the screen. Him delivering it as being personable, it was what made it amazing.
Well, there was a lot of people talking online. It was just like the transfer, like that was the transfer of data and everything. And I was
He's
like,
not there. He's not physically there.
They do keep fucking with us, though.
Yes.
The damn fly shit is messing with us.
Yes.
It's been messing with us since episode
William
1.
walks out in the field and is about to shoot himself. What do we see?
Flies.
The fly lands on the back of his neck and then flies off and stuff. I'm like, dude, they're messing with us with the damn flies. At this point, like, from season 1, we've all talked about, like, they're the virus carrier. You know, it's like, oh, man, this shit, man.
Yeah.
Something's
I'm telling
coming
you,
with the fly.
the writers and the bar like that are having fun with the audience.
They're red
they
herring
are.
us to death.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
they're on Reddit trolling everybody. They're making YouTube videos trolling us. Like, they're having a blast.
You think about True Detective season 2, and I'm talking about Red Herring City. That has nothing compared to what they're doing here. It is just one after another, and then the timeline jumps. Man, they are just
Well, and the timeline jumps make it even worse because they point blank show us that they're messing with us and then just jump to a different timeline. Ooh, guess when this actually happened? Screw you guys.
I'm going to tell you right now, when this show's over for the next episode, there will be a huge group of people saying, oh, no, bullshit. On this episode, you showed us this, and then this one, you showed us this, and you're telling me this is how it's in. Bullshit. I mean, there'll be a ton of that naysay.
But you don't think they did that before they released this shit?
There will be people who do that.
I'm waiting on the YouTuber or maybe on them that cuts and edits it perfectly in one stream like it's supposed to be. So we see how it was all to go down.
Possible.
Oh, it's possible. It's going to be released.
You can do it.
Yeah.
No.
I guarantee this is the internet. This is going to happen. You can book it.
That's 100 hours of work.
Somebody will put it together.
What do you think 12-year-olds do all
Nerds.
day? Like,
Nerds.
this is the internet for a reason. And it is going to be glorious. Please tag us in it if you're listening to us. Like, I want to see it just perfectly done.
All right. So we're done with Men in Black, right? We agree. We don't think he's a host.
Done with Man in Black, done with Maeve.
Butterfly, done with Maeve, and so on. So Bernard and Elsie, he tells her to go down there. Bernard goes up there, of course, gets the message to Maeve, comes back down, gets in the most awesomest ATV, all-terrain vehicle, whatever you want to call it. And they take off. And, I gotta tell you, the way it sounds like it's electrically driven.
It is electric.
It does, yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're all on the same page. And so when he's driving off, they stop. She goes, "Hey, let's get off to get more ammo."
I don't like this at all.
I like it. This is a great detail to me.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not playing
Is it
PUBG or anything.
to get her out of the vehicle? Is it too convenient at the time?
This is some of the shit I hate that they don't do in a lot of shows or movies. Where'd you get all your ammo? Where'd you get your guns and stuff like that? I'm like,
I'll give you that.
if you see a bunch of if it was, hosts and stuff laying around, no, don't stop. But when you actually see security forces with P90s laying around, you get out.
But I mean, you've just already seen all these, I'm presuming, all over where we got the ATV, on the way down when she came looking for a gun. If she couldn't find it where they were stored,
But remember, they had to get the hell out of there.
That's true.
They were
she
in
was-
danger there.
true, but I mean,
Yeah.
she's been hiding underneath there for God knows how long.
Let's go back this route. She said she didn't find hardly anything.
Yeah, she found like one clip and
Yeah, she said barely anything.
Barely anything. Now, P90 carries, what, like 100 rounds? I mean, it's a top-mounted magazine.
I think it carries 90 rounds.
It is... I mean,
I think
Yeah.
so. I might be wrong.
if I'm going, I think it was like 50.
That many dead guys and no ammo? That was a heck of a firefight. What was going on there?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that 50 to 90 rounds is gone in under 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's
Seconds
not
it'll
long.
go.
But Ed Harris has the ability to control it to a single shot or
Yeah.
mow down 6 people at
No, that
once.
wasn't single shots, bro. He was bursting on them.
That was a spray and pray. If I've ever
These
seen
guys
it.
don't assume the boss is going to light them up.
Yeah,
either.
but the daughter only took one to the chest.
No, not one, homie. She took a few more.
Oh, I only saw the one.
I only saw the
yeah,
one.
I only saw the one.
I only saw the
Oh,
one.
no, I saw what I thought at least was at least 3. Tapper.
No, like it didn't even sound like a burst to me. Like
It
it
didn't.
just
Just like
sounded
bang. It
like
was
solo shot.
Anyway, it didn't matter.
Whatever.
So at this time, Jeffrey Wright, listen to me. Bernard gets out and he has this moment where Ford's trying to she's going to betray you. It's in her nature. She's human. Da 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 da. And he's like, get the F out of my head. This scene surprised me. You've never seen him have like a pure emotion delivered out like that.
Oh, yeah, he gets super mad.
Yeah, like
Loses glasses, picks them up. I thought he was about to lose the glasses for good.
Yeah.
Making it seem
Yeah.
where we're headed.
Another red herring, yes.
But zip tying his hand to the steering wheel, reprogramming and removing. We think he removes.
I don't
believe it for a
I don't
second.
believe it for a second.
I don't believe it for a second.
I'm forward. I'm like, I'm poof. Yup. I'm gone.
Yeah, really.
Nothing to see here.
Like, David Blade, woo, magic.
Yeah.
Right, Copperfield, baby.
So I just leave Bernard alone for a second.
Yeah. I was set my way for it to just be in the back seat. Did you get the right one? Here,
I
let me
just
help
let
you.
him bend over and pop back up. Now you missed it. Wrong package.
Yeah, just like classic horror movie.
Yeah.
There's someone in the back seat. Yeah, I do feel bad for Elsie though, man. She gets the shaft a lot.
Oh, my
Not
God.
really, but I mean, here she doesn't have to go into a firefight. Sure, she lost her weapons,
Yeah, I'd love to roam free out here right now.
Yeah. There's 60 soldiers out there. They're all dead. They have empty P90s. And you.
and you'd
With
rather go where everyone else is going.
I'm looking. I don't want to leave the vehicle to get out of Dodge.
And I'm pretty sure I see her load all the ammo and stuff in the back of the thing.
She does.
Before he goes, I'm so sorry.
But Bernard left his gun. He threw it before
Yeah.
he got in there. So I mean, she's got 15 rounds roughly.
No,
Well, she gotta go
throws
find it.
into the woods.
Look, that was a
like-
sissy throw. Like, let's be honest, it was a
Oh,
terrible
my God.
throw.
I'll just throw your keys in the woods, and I'll Sicily throw it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you find them in the dark.
Well, okay, now we're gonna make it the dark.
She has no idea where they are.
It's bright as day.
And no direction of where he threw that gun.
In the woods.
She's got a chance.
Oh my God.
She's got a chance.
She's got the embedded
She's
vagina.
not a
moving
Navajo.
detector.
She's not going to track where she threw that thing.
Yeah. She's gonna start sniffing the grass. Something was thrown here recently.
Oh my God.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Oh my
Giving
God.
her the benefit of the doubt.
Two people
guys.
fought here. One was a giant. Yes.
Your benefit is enormous, and my doubt is massive.
Oh my God.
At least they're on the same scale. I'll take
Oh
it.
my God.
So Bernard is gone. Adios, muchachos. And that's the nuts and the bolts of the episode.
I love it. Fuck you, Bernard.
Yeah.
I mean,
What else do we have?
I mean, do we have any predictions for the next episode?
Teddy greases himself.
Yep.
We saw that. Men in Black. Daughter.
Oh, no.
Maeve.
The scene with Clementine who turns all of them.
Yes.
Oh my
On
God,
each
we
other,
got
the
ourselves.
code and the hail.
Okay,
Dude, the broke leg, and they start killing each other. I mean, you ain't lying. I was like, oh my God, that leg.
who got the church scene vibe from Kingsman?
Oh, this is definitely Kingsman.
Oh, and I loved every second. Like, I hated it because I didn't think the code should have been transferable. Because I mean, we were talking about that all last time. But end result was so cool, I was okay with it.
But not only did they transfer it, they
Molded it.
made it where she can be controlled too.
Yes.
Um,
And I think Maeve's going to shut that down pretty quickly.
You didn't watch the preview, did you?
Of course
Oh
not.
my God.
Run!
I mean,
Ooh, the preview. Wow.
let me just say, Clementine is a walking, just
Murder body.
napalm.
Oh, God.
She is
I'm
a
so
puppet
excited.
master of destruction.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You know, this
Which
was-
I'm so glad this actress is still back.
Yes.
Oh man.
You know, the fact that
because
her-
that was tough watching her die.
oh yeah,
You know.
and the fact they have her eyes like cataract over is terrifying. You know, they have her pale and almost see through.
I mean, she's terrifying.
This is awesome. Another chick that deserves super credit. Mm-hmm. You know, they just nail this stuff, man.
And like hers, because hers is just pure acting because she never has many lines or anything. And she sells so much just through motion and stillness.
She doesn't talk at all since season 1.
I think you're right.
Ever.
Right.
She says nothing.
Well, she said something to Teddy, or maybe she just said it with her eyes, and I'm giving her credit for using words.
I don't remember ever saying shit.
I don't remember either.
But either way,
Yeah.
badass. Man, are they setting this up for Hale to get just a terrible death, aren't they?
Yeah,
Hale's
she's gonna.
going to take it so bad.
I think it's gonna be Maeve.
I think it will be Maeve as well.
Yeah,
But Maeve hands-on or Maeve doing something horrific? Like, Hale deserves to die from, like, 4 or 5 hosts, like, tearing her apart. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my
limb
God.
from limb type of deal.
like
I'm down. I'm
the
down
old
for it,
horses,
man.
like where
Yeah.
you got a horse for each limb, and then
Just like
Yeah,
that.
like in the Western.
Just
baby.
like that.
Yeah.
the westerns really did have some of the best ways to kill
Yeah,
somebody.
drag them through the town square.
Yep. Just run until your feet can no longer keep you. The horse
Yeah.
pool, good old.
Throw you in the rattlesnake pit.
Oh, the
kinds
old
of bad
Ragnar,
shit.
the Ragnar Lothbrok.
All kinds of bad shit.
Oh yeah,
No doubt, man.
don't break the law in the West, guys. Rule number 1.
Okay, predictions of who dies in the next episode, who lives in the next episode.
I think we're going to have a very high death count.
All right, tell me this, just before we even get to that. Do you guys think there will be a season 3?
Golly, as successful as this is, I can totally see it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know you could see it, but my thing is,
Because
the story of Westworld is about to wrap up, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I mean,
do we really want to see them in the real world?
That's the question. Do you want to see... If
no, because then that just becomes the new version of Blade Runner.
if the final episode shows one of the hosts, say Maeve,
Yeah.
and her daughter go free, and you see them like literally walk out into the new future, you know, what the future world looks like, which we all know is an island. I don't know where
Yes.
they're going. But they walk out, you know, and they're in like a cityscape of some kind, whatever. And cut to black.
I think that's fine. I think that's a perfect ending.
I think that's the ending.
Yeah. Well, because we know it's going to be at least 2 years. Like, this isn't a show that they're going to be able to pump out every year, as we've already seen.
But don't be surprised at all if someone like, who's the guy that's been helping Maeve this whole time?
Hector.
No.
No. The human.
Stokeworth?
Oh, Sizemore.
No. Sizemore.
Sizemore. Say Sizemore.
Where was he this episode?
Wearing his hat. I don't
That's what
know.
I'm saying, though. Say Sizemore gets out with Maeve, or with what Dolores has in her pocket, or whatever the case may be, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the new season. Because we've seen Sizemore now make the turn
Yes.
to, like, these hosts deserve
Compassionate,
better.
yeah.
Compassionate to the host, right? So it's
Empathetic.
like, if he gets out and decides on the outside to make and create this stuff, you know what I mean? Create more hosts and do whatever. I don't know.
I don't want to see it. Personally.
That's what I'm saying. Would you be interested in...
Hey guys, I'm telling you what's going to
Exterior.
happen. It's we're watching Jurassic Park. Next season will be Jurassic World. It's the remake of the same island.
Yeah,
Ford still lives though. He's like the T-Rex. You know, it's going to be in every episode.
send all the loneliest men to go out there. And we just want to hump these hosts. Whatever we got to do.
No, I do think
to
that
me, I could definitely see, you know, one gets on a train and goes. You know,
I don't think I want to see a host on the outside season.
no.
I don't either.
And I don't see any way you bring back Ed Harris. I don't see any way you bring back Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. Is like how would you continue with the meat and potatoes of the season of the show? You know, we did great for 6 episodes of not having Anthony Hopkins. You know,
How badass would it be? Ed Harris does get taken out of this WestWorld and is brought to like we just whip the whole show over to courtroom drama.
Law and Order Westworld.
But no, but to say
You're out of order.
I mean, what if that happens? That's the biggest story in the world. Is that hey, all these rich and powerful people were all monsters. You know what I mean? Ed Harris is pulled out in front of the world and tried for crimes against humanity. Basically,
The only way this happens is if you have the core actors, which means Dolores, you know, Ed Harris, Ford, Bernard, all you're gonna have to have 75 to 80% of those people in the next season
And
for it to hold water.
And I think most of them are dying in this next
I don't
episode.
see half of them having a future after next episode.
I truly do not disagree with you. That's what I would want.
Correct.
But we've seen things. This is a strange, super strange comparison, right? Mm-hmm. Remember Aliens, right? When she's going through the computer and going through all her old crew. And it's like deceased. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, I remember that.
You know, if you imagine something showing up and where you see glimpses and, you know, recorded memories on cards of characters that we've all gotten to know and things like that, it would touch you in a way. You know what I mean?
But I mean, like HBO knows when to end a show, typically.
Yeah, and I think this show is about having some kind of mystery and intrigue in a big aha moment or multiple aha moments. And I don't see how you could create another intriguing season if you have half the actors and it's in a new setting.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to think of some kind of way they could do another season. I'm not saying I want to see it either.
No, I mean I agree with you. It's just I don't see it happening. And I mean, I like that we're trying to come up with reasons for it, but personally,
I don't need a reason.
Yeah.
If they end this perfectly this season, dude, this has been one of the best shows of all time.
I agree.
yeah, with 2 seasons, which is saying a lot.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go down to the main character. Does William Men in Black survive next episode?
No, I think he's dead by the end of the episode. I think he gets there and everything, but I think he...
Let me ask you this. Instead of saying dead, does he win or lose?
Yes, my thing is the worst punishment for William is to
live and deal with these
and
trials.
have to face.
But I mean, how
what
does he
he's
face
created.
it? Like
Yeah,
his
face
cards
it
in the
is-
middle of Westworld.
But my thing is, what William wants to do is destroy this place, end
Yes.
it completely. So in a way, should be rooting for him in a little bit, and then in another way, you're like, oh, you're a monster.
It's like, I still want you to get your comeuppance, even if you do the right thing.
Right? Are you pulling for Ford?
I am.
What's Ford's? If Ford wants to host out in the real world,
What's his motive? We don't
Yeah,
know.
my question is that what's Ford's long game? I mean, he's
Ford's
just
long
a
game-
little ball.
Could be, hey, I want to be in the internet where I can,
Live digitally.
just,
that's terrifying.
Voltron this shit.
Oh
Or
my
what's his
God,
name?
Voltron. No, Lawnmower Man.
No. Avengers 2.
Oh, Ultron.
Ultron. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't. And like, I don't even know if we can say if anyone can win or lose. I
To
don't
me,
even.
if the next episode is the end of the end, like it's the last episode like that, I see Bernard, his head getting blown bits, and that's the end of him and Ford together.
Is he just the next episode just an hour long, or is it extended?
I don't think Ford only exists inside Bernard's head.
You think he's in like an all the host?
I don't know, man. It made me feel like, because the whole deal about him showing him take that ball and then putting it here and then getting it put back into his head.
But was the ball that got put in Bernard's head the red ball, or was it just Bernard's old ball?
I think it was Bernard's old ball with
the Anthony Hopkins Ford attached.
Yes, with his information.
Okay, well they just
downloaded into it.
He just deleted him off his hard drive.
I don't think he did.
I know we don't.
Yeah.
Think
Don't believe that for a second.
I know we don't think so.
But the show gave the illusion that Ford has been removed.
Exactly. So if it was that simple, that would be a terrible
Absolutely awful.
ending to Ford, obviously.
Yeah, and if that is, I'm gonna be pissed.
So I have to assume that Ford is in other things. Is what I'm.
Or
thinking.
he's still there, and that was just a phony file, and he's like, okay, I'm just not gonna look at you right now.
Yeah.
I know it could easily go that route.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Like,
It is most likely.
I'm just seeing Ford as like a little 3-year-old playing hide and seek, like behind the curtain.
I mean,
doesn't see my feet, does
Nice
he?
try.
I mean,
As of right now,
He's dead.
the only character that they have given you clear rooting interest appears to be Maeve,
Yes.
right? Because she seems altruistic, wants to do the right thing. Really just wants to get her daughter
Yeah,
and get
and
the hell
live out in the middle of the
and
West.
Dolores wants to get out, but she's just going it by force.
out. But Dolores that's what I'm saying. Dolores turned the heel in a wrestling term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By what she did to Teddy, her ruthlessness.
And she wants to go out in the real world and become the ruler of the new world.
Yeah, she wants.
Domination.
Well, we don't know what she wants, but
She says what
she
she
says what she wanted. She
She
wants
says, not only do I want to
to take
leave this world,
I want to take over.
I want to take the new world.
okay.
So she just has more dictator style.
Yeah, like she thinks
Plan.
all humans are dark because they created them to be their puppets for
Their playthings.
misuse
That's
of
true.
toys. And so she wants to go and destroy them. So she's Wyatt, is what she is.
I mean, it could be badass. They step out and be like, "You are now all the property of Skynet."
Okay, well, hold on. Like now,
Oh my god!
now I'm being sold on to season 3.
Yeah.
This is the T800 model.
You just wake up and the mesa and all that stuff is just in a bubble, and there's a bigger mesa. It's like- so we see how this turned out.
Yeah.
We'll try it with the new T900 models.
What's up? Okay, so now they can't just melt down into lava and reform. They just have to kick through the
Oh
door.
my god! Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Okay, but now,
Should pop up. Come with me if you want to live. You know what I mean?
what if we do get Arnold for season
Negative.
3?
Negative.
Okay, his wrinkly ass ain't getting on TV. Come on, man.
There's a chance.
Although I saw him in the Andre the Giant documentary, looking pretty good. He's obviously been back in the gym.
Yes.
His skin is paper thin and wrinkly, but the
But
dude's jacked again.
Dude, that Arnold doco is amazing.
Andre the Giant.
Andre, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. All right, so I mean, we just want to see how it unravels and stuff.
Kind of.
Like
I don't
I
want to
think
go through
so.
all of them because I don't think we have any choice.
that. Yeah. All right, let me ask you: any guaranteed deaths in your mind?
Hail.
Yeah, Hale.
Dolores, I feel.
Loki.
Hold on. Shout out to Brian. I was supposed to tell you his name and keep you on track, but I've completely failed and completely forgot his name again. So long live
Strand?
Loki.
Wow.
Strand. It is Strand.
Okay, Strand.
Yeah.
Way to
Terrible
go.
name. Hey,
Strand dies.
To one of
I've
our super fans there.
I gave him the recognition and everything.
Jeez.
I failed.
His last name?
Think of how many people have
Yeah,
been
well, I
listening
said
to the
Brian
show.
Miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many people listen to the show and have not watched Vikings and have no idea who the hell we're talking about when we say Floki?
Well, then
Probably hundreds.
well, hold
No
on.
clue.
This is the best podcast for TV and movies, so they should be listening to everything that we put out.
I agree. And there's
So they should know exactly who
they're
Floki
shitty
is.
fans if they don't. But
How dare you, fans that don't listen to all of our content?
Please excuse the other two hosts. We love all of our fans.
Vikings has been delayed. All right. Well, guys, until next week,
Until this next week, man, this is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
and I'm Jake.
and I'm Cash.
We'll see y'all then.